today's video, I will be showing you how to rebuild your MIP so they will last longer and work a lot more smooth. There's a special product I'm going to be using in this video called Rust Wash. This stuff works very excellent, it's non-toxic, it's non-corrosive, and there's no special chemicals that could hurt your body or damage equipment. You can find this at a hardware store for around $15. I highly suggest you buy it for this application because it will completely remove the rust from the MIPs. A few other things I will be using is a rag, some screwdrivers to take off the MIPs, and some white lithium grease for re-greasing them. The first step is getting the MIPs off the vehicle. If you know how to install them, then you know how to remove them. So like I said I was going to, I took the MIPs off the slash 4x4. Now, you may or may not be able to tell that this is only one set of drive shafts for the front or rear, but in this case it's the rear. That's because with the front drive shafts I was bored. I was having issues with one of the hex hubs on the left side of the vehicle, so I just derusted them. As you can see, these are now silver. How exactly that happened, I'm not really completely sure. I'm going to get into more detail about that later. But either way, now I'll be showing you how to take these all apart, clean them up, and then get them in the DeRust. For the front and rear drive shafts, we're going to take out these two grub screws that are on the output yoke if you haven't done so already. This is going to be with your 2mm screwdriver. And then remove the washer on the rear drive shafts. The fronts do not have this. Then we're going to remove a grub screw that holds on the output yoke to the half shaft, which is located on either side, inside of here. You can completely take that out or leave it in, but set it down, take your screwdriver, and then push this pin through. If it's rested in place, well then you might want to use a little bit of force. There we go. And now the output yoke is out. And here we can see a prime example of why you should rebuild your MIPs with DeRust or not. Because dirt and grime can get in these joints so easily, and if you get enough buildup inside of there, well then it could get stuck when it's rotating, and then your drive shaft or motor could have a failure just because of the sheer amount of strength with the grime against the joint. So yeah, now we have to do the same for the other side, but we're just going to be removing the shaft. Now with everything apart, we can clean it up with our dirty rag. But just keep in mind that there's these little pivot pieces that are inside of the yokes. So just take those out as well. If you're having trouble getting dirt and grime out of tight spaces like inside of this drive shaft, have no worries, because you could just use a Q-tip and go on the inside. It works great, and it's cheap if you have it at home. And with all the parts free of dirt and grime, I'm going to show you how to derust them. Find a metal container that can hold all your parts. Then you're going to throw all your parts into this container. And then pour the rust wash in until everything is completely submerged. You can see after only a minute, it's already starting to attack the rust. This product works so well. I'm going to leave it in here until I start seeing actual results. For reference, here is one of the half shafts that has been in the DeRust for about half an hour. And then here's one that has been done. As you can see, this one still needs a lot of work. However, I think it could be completely done in about 4 hours in there. You might be still wondering why the drive shafts turned silver. Well, I personally have two theories, and one of them is probably correct, probably the second one. But the first one is that the rust attacked the drive shaft with the coating of black paint on top of it, and it got through the paint and attacked the actual drive shaft. And it completely did that, so now when you put it in the DeRust, it's just taking off the rust and leaving off this silver coating because the paint is all gone. The second theory is that the DeRust is removing the paint. And I say this because paint and rust probably share a lot of the same physical properties, so the DeRust would also remove the paint. Like I'm saying, these are just theories, but either way, if you leave it in there long enough, it will turn silver, whether you like it or not. Because I put this in here late last night, I had to leave it overnight, and I didn't have much time in the morning because I had to go to school right away. So this has been in here for about 16 hours. Now we're going to take out all of the parts that have been derusted. Looks pretty nice. And you're going to wipe these parts dry with a rag and some Q-tips for the tight areas. You can just flush the rust wash down the toilet. With all the parts cleaned up, now it's time to rebuild them. I highly suggest that you use some thread locker for all the screws that go into metal, which is every single one of them, being that the drive shafts are made of completely metal. I'm just going to put a little dab of this down like that. In fact, that might have even been a little bit too much, so that before I put the screws in, I can just put the screw on the screwdriver and then dab a tiny bit of that on the side of the screw before I put it in. We will also lubricate the joints with white lithium grease. We're going to take these pieces and put the grub screw into them. And you only want, like, even less than that on it. I don't really know if you can see that or not, but yeah, just a tiny dab on the side of the screw. And you're just going to put that in, but not too far in. Only about that much. Then we're going to take these outputs and put a little bit of white lithium grease inside of that. Not too much though, just inside there. Then we're going to take our half shaft as well as this piece. We're going to slide this in so that the hole lines up like that. Line that up. As you can see, the hole goes all the way through. That's what we want. Take this bar, and the part of it with the flat edge, you want it facing the grub screw, which is not on that side. Just slide that all the way in. Make sure it's all level, which it is. Tighten down this grub screw. Then we're going to put some more white lithium grease, this time inside of the joints. And to so just find an open hole and put that inside. You want to get a fair amount, but not too much, so that all the dirt and grime collects inside of it. And then, yeah, just rotate it. Maybe do the other side if you really want to. Now we're going to put in the grub screws that hold the output yokes to the differential gear. Give them about one turn actually inside of the output yoke. Once you're done that, you're also going to put back on the washer for just the rear drive shafts. Like that. And then now, once you're done all that process, you can put it back on the car. Here's before, and here's after. And that is all for this video. If you have any questions about this process, please ask in the comments below. I will answer very quickly, and I will talk to you later.